Connor, you don't get to celebrate this. What? You can only celebrate if you're a Leafs fan, Steve. I am a Leafs fan. I did a full-time Leaf fan. What are you talking? I am a full-time Leafs fan. Hey, I'm not stupid. I see you cozying up with the president of the Sharks truther and all that stuff. You taking the jacket? I mean, in my defense, it's a really nice jacket. It is a pretty nice jacket. Did the Leafs have one of those? I don't know. If they did, would you get one? Possibly two? I mean, yeah, if they send them for free, for sure. Let's go! Good. We all feel good. Stop! Never gets rusty!
What am I doing?
Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppies, Iggy! Do you care what he's gonna make against the Cap? No, me neither. You're just a dog. Did you see the double catch? That was actually really impressive. Drew, slow it down. We need slow-mo victory puppies. Zoom in. Sweep that California road trip, baby. Leafs win 4-1 over the San Jose Sharks. And what's the big story? The 3 wins in a row, the sweep and the road trip? No. Money. It's money. Because William Nylander is about to sign his contract, but we're not going to talk about that yet. You wait your turn. And by popular demand, we got a Marley minute later in this video where Nick Barden is going to be talking about the Hildeby. More details there because everyone kept asking for it.
Actually, how about we throw to it right now because I forgot to throw to it and it's too late to reshoot anything.
Dennis Hildeby might not have gotten a start for the Maple Leafs on the California road trip, but there's still a lot to look forward to with the 22-year-old netminder. With questions remaining about Ilya Samsonov's short-term future, it's always possible Hildeby could start sometime next week, maybe against the Sharks on Tuesday. Nevertheless, I do want to go back and discuss some of the reasons why Hildeby had so much success in his debut season in North America. Now, I'll list the obvious points first. His size and the fact that he's mentally strong really helped Hildeby find success early on, but another factor is Marley's goaltending coach, Hannu Toivonen. Toivonen has 61 games of NHL experience, but when I asked Hildeby last month about why the two clicked together, Hildeby joked that it was because of the Scandinavian blood, given Hildeby is from Sweden and Toivonen is Finnish. Hildeby also said they agreed on many ideas and even came up with a few ideas of their own while the 22-year-old was with the Marlies. And when I asked Marlies head coach John Gruden about Toivonen on Friday, his face brightened as he described all of the traits that Toivonen has in terms of he cares, he likes to teach, and he takes pride in what he does. Gruden also said that he's worked with plenty of good goalie coaches in the NHL, and Toivonen has a lot of their qualities. Right now, though, Toivonen is working with Samsonov to help build him back up to get to the NHL, and while that's going on, it's always still a possibility that Hildeby makes his NHL debut with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Listen, we all know what the story of this game is, all right? William Nylander scored 2 goals, and then on Hockey Night in Canada, Elliot Friedman went and dropped a bomb that the Leafs are going to sign him for 8 years, something like 11 and a half. Before we go talking about that and the game and all of that, I want to talk to San Jose Sharks fans specifically. First of all, I was invited to this game by Jonathan Betcher, the president of the San Jose Sharks, and I want to personally thank him very much for the invite. I didn't take him up on the invite on account of I couldn't go to California. It unfortunately wasn't in the budget, and it seemed like a somewhat frivolous business expense. And also over the last few days, I had a little staycation in the town with the wife and son. We went to the aquarium and the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he saw the Stanley Cup, and I didn't tell him about the long time it's been since the Leafs have been on it. What am I complaining to you for about that? I'm sorry, Sharks fans. Listen, it's a rebuild year, and you're trying your best. And I know there's no casuals. No casual is spending their time going around YouTube looking for random content from a screaming man. You are hardcore hockey fans, the type of hardcore hockey fan that would actually sit by and watch their team get 10 goals hung on them in back-to-back games. We're talking about the type of fan who misses half a dozen games a year max. You at least catch part of them. I don't expect you to stick around for the whole 10. But some of you came into the fold because I came up with this cutesy thing a little while ago called Sharks Truther. And basically what that was, I was paying attention. Everyone was paying attention to the Sharks when they were 0-10-1 to start the season because that's miserable. It's miserable, and it appeared to be getting worse at the end of it. Then what happened? Well, they finally ended their streak against the Flyers, and we said, well, now that's over. Then we watched them win back-to-back games, this one against against the Edmonton Oilers, because that's when the Oilers were a complete train wreck, and the whole hockey world, all of us are sickos. We're deranged individuals for tuning in and watching that hockey game. That was on a weeknight. I remember, and we on a work day, on a school day, we stayed up and we watched that game. And then we just sort of stopped paying attention to them. Meanwhile, I'm looking at their record as the games go, and they go, and they go, and they kind of got beat up in some of those games, but they would come back and they would win, or they would at very least force overtime, and then they have like a point streak going and a win streak going, and then you look and you go, oh, if it weren't for the beginning of the season, their pace currently would just have them straight up in a playoff spot. And then Jesse Blake from the Steve Dangle podcast spotted the day that I ruined it. On December 7th, I tweeted, "I've decided I'm absolutely a Sharks truther." Jesse Blake tweeted that since I tweeted that, the Sharks are 1-10-1 over their past 12 games, which is now 1-11-1. That's one win over the past 13 games. Look, Sharks fans, what I would say is this. It's the NHL. If you do a good job, which I generally think the Sharks are doing, rebuilds don't take that long. Like, you look at a team like Buffalo, for example, a team that should have taken strides by now, and you could argue that they have, but like, I thought they were going to be really high up and in a playoff spot by now. Well, in terms of the Buffalo Sabres doing right things, like smart things that help their team win, that only started recently. Like, the Sabres have been bad since Mike Greer was still playing for them, dude. That was like at least 5 jerseys ago for the Sabres, because I remember him playing in the navy blue and gold, and they had the Buffa Slug in there. Did he wear the Buffa Slug? They brought back the red, white, and black. They have the blue and gold, which is beautiful, so they're like, oh, let's get rid of that. Another example could be the Ottawa Senators, and there's another team where you're like, well, they should be better by now, and well, have they done smart things? Well, no, not really. I mean, some, but not enough. Part of the reason that I did the whole Sharks truther thing is I, believe it or not, watch some Sharks hockey. Because I'm like, what makes these guys bad? What's making them struggle? And Leafs fans sort of transitioning into talking about the game, I think we saw some of it in this one. Like, yes, the Leafs dominated the Sharks in shots. At one point, it was like 20-5. But I didn't watch that game and see a team that was truly awful. Like a team that's shambolic, that's just giving the puck away at every opportunity and just screwing up. Like, generally bad teams are dumb. You know what I mean? Like, they make bad decisions in the front office, when bad decisions with the coaching staff, and bad decisions the moment the puck is on their stick. I didn't see that with the Sharks. What I see is a like decently well put together team in terms of coaching and style, and no execution whatsoever. A breakout, forget it. A pass, forget it. You know what? Most of the bad teams in the NHL over the years, what don't they have? Goaltending. They just rely on their bad goaltending to help them tank. The Sharks have gone in the complete opposite direction. Like, Mackenzie Blackwood gets shelled every night and comes up with these saves. The Sharks are going to draft some really good players over the next couple years. They already have guys like Zetterlund who are going to come up, and Eklund. A lot of it is going to come down to what do they do with this upcoming trade deadline, because we've seen teams strip it down to the bone, and sometimes it takes those teams longer to recover than you expect. Yeah, you got all those draft picks, but did you really need them all? Even the Arizona Coyotes, like, they had all those draft picks, and now they're good, and well, see, maybe that's the way to go. Dude, they traded a lot of those picks. They traded up in the draft, they traded to get guys like Dursey, they get saves. Sharks fans, all I'm saying, tough it out. That's the Sharks' truth. Now, back to your regularly scheduled Leafs video. Whoa, they killed them! Oh, man! Oh, that was awesome! Look at Willie! He got the game belt! He can buy the game belt pretty soon. Let's go, Willie. You know what? Sheldon Keefe and his staff have taken a lot of grief this season, and I think a lot of fans default to being mad at the coaching staff whenever the Leafs are bad. There's something to that on occasion, but we gotta praise them when they do something well. This was clearly the better team on paper, and they played like it all night. And you might say, well, what does Sheldon Keefe expect for that? A cookie? Yeah, but how often does a team, especially the Leafs, show up and they're just like, we can coast through this one. We're playing the Sharks, it's cookie night, let's go out and try to get 1 billion points, outscore our problems. No, they looked at it like, you know what? We're 2-0 on this road trip. We beat a really solid team in the LA Kings and the Ducks. Let's head home with our heads held high and feel good about this. Let's gather some points. Because, dude, the Leafs were, like, kind of not so low-key doing pretty poorly. Like, slipping in the standings a bit. Boston just won't go away, and the Panthers won't go away! These are all valuable points. I'm still mad they dropped 2 to the Blackhawks. But it was hard for a while. Blackwood was stopping all the pucks. The Leafs get a power play. He's still stopping all the pucks. And then Granlund... Can I take back the thing I said about dumb mistakes? You almost never see this, but he plays the puck with his hands in the face-off dot. That creates a 5-on-3 situation. Mitch Marner scores a power play goal. The Leafs had a 5-on-3. It's a Merry Christmas. 1-0 after 1. The official shot count, according to NHL.com, the Leafs 17, the Sharks 3. Second period, rather late in the period, this was a great shift by this weird looking third line. Max Domi just hustling in there to beat out the icing. He ends up not even getting an assist on this play because Liljegren gets the puck. He hits up Pontus Holmberg, who gets it to Kalle Järnkrok. Järnkrok, who looked like he was heading to the bench for a change, spins, fires, and it's a trickler through Mackenzie Blackwood. Järnkrok's 10th of the season, and screw it, take him how you get him. He had a golden opportunity earlier in the game. They showed him on the bench. He was mad about it that he didn't execute, and he scores on that. Call it even there, Kalle. Third period comes, we're halfway through. The game is still, like, weirdly within reach for San Jose, but William Nylander just takes over. I don't want to narc on guys getting points, but Jake McCabe and Tyler Bertuzzi both got assists on this goal. Dude, it's McCabe with an outlet pass to the blue line where Tyler Bertuzzi is standing still. William Nylander screaming up the ice, and Bertuzzi just goes, here, because that's how he would say it. Willie brings it in, snipes it off the bar. Gross, disgusting. After we spent the whole intermission going, I don't know if I'd give him that much. Yeah, I don't know if I would pay him that much. Bing! Scores! What's the percentage on that? What's the cap percentage? That's what really matters, is the percentage. Man, we all turn into capologists when he scores a goal like that. Gross. It's 3-0. The Sharks don't go away. They didn't have a lot of opportunities in front, but Granlund finishing on a second attempt, making up for his mistake earlier, brings the Sharks to within 2. And I know a lot of people are like, the Sharks, whatever. And I'm like, a lot of their wins this season have been comeback wins. Maybe mind your P's and Q's. And then Willie Nylander says, oh, don't worry, I'll just score again, this time from below the goal line. He's goofy, he's silly, he's truly goofy and silly. Here he is with the belt again. I just wanted to show that off because he got the belt. 2 goals and a 4-1 win. Martin Jones, by the way, only allowing 2 goals in 3 games in California. The Leafs as well, but mostly Martin Jones. So here, let me talk about William Nylander real quick. I don't want to make this into a big, long thing, because I will make it into a big, long thing when he actually signs. The reason I don't want to do something until he actually signs is, remember on, like, Friday? Or was it Thursday? It was like a couple days ago where Nick Kypreos gets on TV and he's like, yep, he's going to sign, and it's 8 years and it's 11.25 roughly. And now here we are on Saturday and he scored 2 more goals and now it's 11.5 per year. A lot can change and you never know what can change. So I don't want to talk about something that's not confirmed. Like, he was asked about it after the game and he's all cheeky like, oh, we'll see. I don't know. Like, it's probably going to happen, but I am scarred. Deeply scarred from the Shohei Ohtani to the Blue Jays thing, which never happened, by the way. So how about we wait for this news to actually come out, and then I'll give you my 2 cents so you don't have to hear it twice. Although, we'll start questions with producer Drew. Snarky Avalanche fan producer Drew goes, me looking at Rantanen for 9.25, Devon Toews for 7.25, and Makar for $9 million on Cap Friendly. Oh no, he didn't stop there. Then, producer Drew doubles down and goes, wingers I'd rather have over Nylander. Matthew Tkachuk, Brad Marchand, Nikita Kucherov, Kirill Kaprizov, Mikko Rantanen, Artemi Panarin, Mark Stone, David Pastrnak, Kyle Connor, Jason Robertson, and Mitch Marner? We don't have time to unpack all that. Could argue Keller, Gensel, Brott. No, you couldn't. What? Jake Gens, stop. He's a borderline top 10 winger. The issue is the Leafs cap situation makes the deal look... How about you look? Ooh, I like this from Paul Zhang. Thoughts on Holmberg? So, I know we all like the Nick Robertson, Max Domi, Kalle Järnkrok line. They do really well. Their underlying numbers are really good. But if you watch them, and we do, we could understand why a coach might not like that line that much. I love Max Domi on the team. Max Domi can stay on this team and be a productive member on this team. I don't know how much Sheldon Keefe trusts him at center, especially defensively. And I definitely don't know how much he trusts him at center defensively with Nick Robertson on his wing. That's a big part of the reason Calle Yarncroke is there. With Pontus Holmberg, he's in his mid-20s. He's not really a prospect anymore. There's not much point having him in the AHL other than he's just depth. I think what they're trying to do is figure out what they have with him. And tonight, he was good. He was the coach's pet, doing smart things along the walls, creating plays, and being responsible in his own end while, creating great scoring chances. And he did great in this one. I think that third line of Robertson, Domi, Yarncroke, part of the reason their numbers are so good is because of Sheldon Keefe and their coaching staff deploying them properly. I just think they know that once the playoffs arrive, there's nowhere to hide. And I think Sheldon Keefe, this move is him screaming from the rooftops for Brad Treliving to do something about that third line. I think he likes his fourth line now. Noah Gregor returning to San Jose. Bobby McMahon, I like more and more every game. And David Kampf is, at least back in the lineup. But I think the Leafs' struggles heading into the holidays, I think this is Sheldon Keefe also sending a message that, hey, this isn't purely on Samsonov. Martin Jones has been really good for the Leafs in stepping in, but you have to admit, he's probably had more help in front of him. Is part of that the Leafs made more comfortable in front of Jones? Probably. But also, you got to admit, over the last few games, they've made way fewer mistakes than we're used to seeing. By the way, this is how it could go on the California road trip. Robert Malloy showing me this from the companion on the Discord. Last year, the Leafs didn't win a single game on the California road trip. It was games 8, 9, and 10 of the season, ending with that brutal loss against the Ducks. Okay, there's my angry faces there. Here's me tonight. I'm happy they won. And lastly, this is a hot button topic from Adrian. What are your thoughts on Bieksa lighting up Nick Cousins on Hockey Night in Canada? Yeah, if you haven't seen the segment, I highly recommend you go check out Sportsnet's socials. And Kevin Bieksa lit up Nick Cousins for just the way he plays. His brutal hit on Goodbranson earlier this season. And then what? He turtles. And then his completely unnecessary hit on Juuso Välimäki while Välimäki's down on his knees. Now, Bieksa didn't say this part. I'm going to say it. Go and look at Nazem Kadri's hit on Tommy Wingles from the 2018 playoffs against the Bruins, where he got suspended 3 playoff games for that hit. And then go look what Nick Cousins did to Välimäki. Please, like I'm 5, explain to me the difference between those hits. Is there a 3 playoff game difference between those hits? He got nothing! Nothing! And then Zucker hits him from behind, and it wasn't nice. But then he gets 3 games. Bieksa's absolutely right. I hope it rattles Cousins. I hope it rattles the whole Florida Panthers team. I doubt it on account of they just beat Colorado 8-4. But these guys are brutal, and this is why the Florida Panthers are absolutely my 2024 Stanley Cup pick. They get away with murder. They do murder and also get away with murder. It's one thing to get away with murder, but if you're not going to do the murder... Anyway, I could see how this clip would be bad. But dude, Sam Bennett is flopping around and diving, all while smashing your rookie's head into the ice like it's a coconut, and Nick Cousins is running around and he's running Eric Goodbranson, and he doesn't get the veteran rub from the league at all, and then he runs Välimäki because he's learned nothing and never a fight. Kevin Bieksa pointed out at there was another one from I think last year. He lays a hit, he's at the bottom of the pile again, and Matthew Tkachuk went after Sam Girard today. Every single time, there's one of those after the whistle scrums. If there is someone who already has a dance partner, or they're the smallest guy on the ice, you can guarantee Matthew Tkachuk is making a beeline for that person because that's the player he is. And I tell you what, they win. And then they kick your ass. And they win. And if you're a hockey novice right now, you're going, but you're not allowed to just kick someone's ass. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. If the league just allows it, you can just do whatever you want. Every now and then there's a team that just comes across hockey that just does whatever they want. Often coached by Paul Maurice. Winnipeg Jets a few years ago. Like when was the Pavelectricity year? They could just do whatever. Dustin Byfuglien just doing whatever, man. Dude, the 2011 Bruins, I know it's a very long time ago. Go back and watch that Stanley Cup final. It was funny that Canucks fans were mad. They were right. They were pretty right. I think where Bieksa lost some people is he brought up Raffi Torres, and it's like, well, Raffi Torres should have been kicked out of the league. But I think what he was saying is, well, Raffi Torres stepped over the line repeatedly and was actually punished for those things, whereas Nick Cousins just do whatever you want, bud. Just do whatever you want. It's cool. It's cool. Dude, the Sportsnet panels and Hockey Night in Canada in general has been a lot more feisty over these past few weeks. It has power. It's still an institution with power, and I wish they would say these sort of things on air every week. Every single week. Because this is going to be a talking point now. Paul Maurice is going to get asked about it, the players are going to get asked about it, and they're going to be salty about it, and then it's going to happen again. Or they calm it down. I doubt it. It's probably just going to happen again. They're going to double down on it. And then once they double down on it, at least we're going to have an answer. At least the league can definitively say, hey, knock that off, we're going to do something about this, or what the league usually does, which is just do whatever you want. Like, it goes from the sport of hockey to playoff hockey, which is a different sport. It's a combination of hockey and felonies. Oh yeah, sure, I'm sure they'll clean up their act for the playoffs. More calling out nonsense, please. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. William Nylander video coming once the news actually drops, and might just be in time for Monday, which is when we record our first podcast back after the holidays. Beautiful stuff. Subscribe to SDPN, by the way.